Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Musical People and Journeys rock show. What is this episode all about? Well, let me quickly explain. Every month we do a what we call a kind of festival rock show where me and my friends, we basically review around about 12 rock albums per month, and we rate them out of 5. And you know, just for fun and just for you guys to see what the latest and the greatest in the rock album world is. However, so it's an hour-long show. So what these shows are, what this one-off show is, to take a single album review for you to listen to, which will be about maybe 10 minutes, and for you to kind of, so if you just want to hear, you know, the latest Ghost album rather than listen to the whole show, then you can have a sample of what we're all about, and hopefully, if you enjoy, you can come back and watch the whole show from start to beginning with all the albums kind of reviewed as well. So I hope you enjoy it. Please like and subscribe our show, and to spread the message about what we do. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this single album review and the actual show itself. Thank you very much. Because the headline act is none other than Imagine Dragons Act 2. Mercury, isn't it? Mercury, isn't it? Can't tell what. Mercury Act 2. So we're on this planet thing. That's why we've gone to Alan Parsons' New World. We've gone over to Planet Zero, and we've popped over to Mercury, where it's damned hot. Which is why this stage is called Heatwave. Heatwave 1, people. Imagine Dragons. Now, I wanted the old team back together, apart from the fact that Chris has had his family emergency, because we reviewed Act 1 kind of last year. So it was, I wanted us to come back together and listen to Act 2 and compare and see kind of where we're at. So let's start then with Paul, with Imagine Dragons, Act 2. What did you think? Did you want to compare with Act 1? And was there progression there? Was it the same? What?
Okay, so just over a year to the month here, we were reviewing Act 2 of Imagine Dragons.
Act 1. This is Act 2.
Act 1, sorry, yeah.
That was me.
We are reviewing Act 2 of Imagine Dragons, what is now a double album. Act 1 was an introspective look from singer Dan Reynolds, full of tracks about self-loathing and regret. It was brutal and honest, and to be honest, well received by some of us anyway. Act 2, which contains 18 songs, is a much more upbeat offering. Having been a fan of Imagine Dragons for many years, I've automatically downloaded half the songs of Act 2. That is not to say this is a great album. Far from it. For me, the perspective here is that I'm reviewing an album from a rock perspective. And sadly, one of the world premiere alt-rock bands have diluted and washed out their rock roots in this second act. There are plenty of songs here that are catchy, and if this was a pop album, we would be ranking it quite highly. But as a rock album, it is sadly disappointing. I don't believe I heard a guitar riff until the 5th track, Blur, and then the album levels off with what can only be described as mediocre songs until the 12th track, Peace of Mind, followed by Sirens and Younger. Then 3 slow meandering songs to finish off what for me was overall a weak album from a band that for 10 years has climbed to the top of the rock world.
Dragons have lost their fire for Paul. What about you, Dave?
Well, I wasn't here when you did the first one, part of the album, so it proper confused me when I actually looked to try and find this album, because I could only find both of the 2 acts together. So I was just like, I'm sure it's not an hour and 45-minute album that we're meant to be reviewing. So I managed to find Act 1 on its own, found out which songs were on there, so just sort of continued on from there. This one, is it a rock album, was the first thing I wrote down. Again, yeah, I there isn't really anything that I would call rock about it. There are certain elements in there, but few and far between. Never really been a fan of the band, but I can't, deny that from a musical standpoint, it's actually pretty decent. I thought, reasonably decent level of songwriting, interesting mix of styles. But yeah, it's definitely not rock. I did really enjoy the songs Sharks and Ferris Wheel, both of which will definitely get added to a playlist of some sort. And I am probably going to listen to it again. But yeah, if you're trying to judge it as a rock album, I think it's going to, fall way short.
But it's a rock show, but I wouldn't put it in if I wanted you to judge it as a rock album as well. I want you to judge it as an album that you enjoyed.
Yeah, so. I mean, the mark that I've given it is ultimately what how I viewed it musically. But
we've gone through the point of like, well, this is now a power metal rock show. Power metal is a type of rock, and we'll come back to my views on this in a minute. So. Trish, you are, I know, a fan of Imagine Dragons.
I am. I apologise now because I'm going to repeat some stuff that Paul has actually said. So Mercury Act 2 is the second half of the double album, finishing off last year's Mercury Act 1, with tracks about self-loathing and regret, as well as the occasional upbeat offering. Some of the album has a dark sound with witty lyrics. For me, this is definitely an album to listen to with your headphones on, to appreciate the sound, music and lyrics, to immerse yourself in their world. The band show their appeal and tweak it to interest non-fans, but never losing sight of how far they have come and how to please their fans.
So, so let's just reflect on why I put Imagine Dragons in, and reflect on what we are as a show. We are musical people and journeys. We're on a journey, and we're on a rock road. So our main path is rock, and from that tributes many types of genres of rock, which are power metal, heavy metal, grunge metal, which I try not to put in too much screamo, but oh my god, next month there's some screamo coming up, and even I will go down those paths and kind of, to try and bring new acts and stuff down there. And Imagine Dragons for me is very much in that pop rock path, if you like. Now, I am first to admit that path is currently overgrown with a lot of weeds, pop weeds, if you like, and it's not a true rock path for certain. I absolutely agree. This is very much, for me, much more of a poppy one, a more towards that pop type of music than, say, Act 1, which was a lot more hard hitting. Did I enjoy Act 2 as much as Act 1? No. For me, Act 1 was, oh my god, it got inside you on some of the lyrics of the songs and ripped your soul out and gone and laid it bare and go, what, this is me. Whereas Act 2 was a lot lighter. There were You're Right, Sharks and Ferris Wheel and that sort of stuff. Some really, really super cool tracks, and yet 18 tracks. There was some really kind of average Joe tracks as well that would go like, really? But there's no denying the guy's songwriting talent, because there are certain moments on Act 2 where it gets quite aggressive and quite a bit screamo and really kind of aggressive. He has that ability to range from happy kind of pop rocky to kind of like, trying to really lay the soul bare in the lyrics. It might not be his own soul, but certainly to portray that sort of emotion, if you like. Super talented. And the only thing I hate about Magic Dragons is when they do covers or when they do songs for like a TV show and stuff as well, and people go and they look at Magic Dragons as that, and I really don't like that, because I much prefer their album music, and they've got a really good history of stuff. Act 2 was okay. It was fun. It was enjoyable. I did enjoy it. Not as good as Act 1, which was far more emotive, and I know I'm repeating myself here. So, yeah, now and again, and I'm going to be doing this, by the way, for warning, I'm going to be taking us down paths where I thought or I believed that, based on a reputation, was rock, and it might not be. But please review the album of how much you enjoyed it, rather than whether it was a rock album or not, because I will be bringing albums to the table that might not be.
You're going to throw in curveballs.
I am. I'm going to be throwing in curveballs, people. Anyway, right, let's get down to our rating, and then we'll play the guessing the Chopper Dunning's rating again, because that was quite good fun. Okay, so Paul.
Okay, so as a pop album, I probably would have given this 3.5.
Okay.
As a rock album, 2.
Yeah. So what are you going to give it?
2.
So as I say, I think you should rate it how much you enjoyed it rather than whether it was a rock album or not. This is I want
and
people...
2. Yeah, I mean, out of 18 songs, I've liked 6 or 7, which is a third. So out of 5, yeah, 2 seems to like a good mark, really.
But if you give it a Trish third, that would be 2.5.
I know, but it isn't. It's a 2.
Dave.
Put it this way: I've thirded it because there's the songs I liked on the album. So there's a lot of the album that, as you said, is just filler stuff basically, and it's stuff I'm not going to listen to
I think
again.
it was about 4 or 5 fillers rather than half the fillers. But
I don't know, for me, and I've rounded it up, so I've been generous by giving it 2. Believe it or not.
Sure. Dave G.
Yeah, I mean, the mark I gave it on was just how I, whether I enjoyed the album or not. I gave it 3.
3. Trish.
4.5.
I give it a 4. I actually did enjoy the album. I know, right?
Yeah, I reviewed it as an album.
Yeah, thanks, Trish. I knew I could depend on you. So let's have a guess on the Dunnings, Chopper Dunnings. Dave, have a guess.
3.
4.
2.
2. You thought he would be down with you.
I did.
And Trish.
3.
Well, you're all in for a shock.
No, I gave it a 1 or
No.
0.
No.
I know he enjoyed it. He said
He enjoyed the album.
did.
He enjoyed the album. It was a good album. He did enjoy it. He gave it a 3.5. Paul's shaking it. Look at Paul's face. What show am I on? What show am I on?
We're on the pop show, obviously. This is, yeah.
It wasn't all pop though. There was definitely rock in there. Definitely.
There was, but nothing.
It's personal opinion and perspective.
Yeah.
Like the rock was used
it was
as
Paul's opinion, which is wrong.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, the power of Imagine Dragons is where they rely on their drummer and a high bass line, and where the singer uses his voice as an instrument. And yeah, you get some synth and guitar to enhance the songs, but they're usually a bit more heavier than this. And yeah.
Oh no, I agree.
I mean, Sharks. I was thinking, what is it? Is it a Shark Tale 2 film coming out? Is this the soundtrack for it? And it was just stuff like that, and it just felt so commercial, so just so formulative, and that's why, yeah, I was disappointed, to be honest. So
yeah, no, I mean, yeah. I think I might have been biased, Paul, based on how much I have loved Imagine Dragons. I think I could have been a little bit harsher, but I still enjoyed the album. But I think you're right. But I mean, it's got Dave. You said it was a 3, wasn't it? So you just to double check.
Yeah.
So 17. I mean, to be frank, for Imagine Dragons, it's an average score, but for me, for Imagine Dragons, that's I mean, based on, I think if we reviewed the Act 1, I think that probably would have, if we were rating back a year ago with the Hall of Fame ratings, this might well have been in the Hall of Fame from what I recall with our ratings. So I think we were giving it 3.5, 4s, and 4.5. So, but certainly wasn't not getting up there. But anyway, so there we go. That is our headline act. But it was not the cream of the crop, so that belongs to Shine Down, and that is our album of the show. Will it be our album of the month? Well, we'll have to tune into Heatwave 2, which will be coming soon, if not already on our channel. If you have enjoyed the show, please like and subscribe. They're going up. We haven't got that many, but it's going up. It's heading in that direction. Our views and numbers are going up. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoyed the format. Please, if you've got any comments, if there is a band that you want us to review in the future, we do plan with 6 weeks in advance. We've already got the list down for next month. So I hope you enjoyed the show. And as I said, please like and subscribe. Thank you to my wonderful co-hosts. Dave G in the house.
Thanks for having me.
Brilliant. Paul, thank you.
Rock on.
Rock on. Rock pop on.
No, just rock on, please.
Trish, thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye. And and tune in for Heatwave 2 and tune in for next month's show. Thank you very much for everybody for joining Musical People Journey on our journey. Bye for now.